Hello, my name is Alex Kaiser. I am a sophomore at DuPont Manual High School, and today I will be going over my science experiment. Before we begin, I would like to mention that I use the term aerobie and flying disc interchangeably throughout my experiment. By this, I mean that even though these are aerobies and this isn't, I mention them all as aerobies. Or when I mention aerobies, I mention all of them, not just these two. My experiment tests for the correlation between the size of the opening and the flight distance of the aerobie. In simple terms, my tests are designed to see how the size of the opening affects the flight distance of the aerobie. I use three different styles of aerobies located here, here, and here. One with no opening or a 0 centimeter diameter opening, one with a 6 centimeter diameter opening, and one with an opening of 12 centimeters in diameter. So I ran into a huge problem off the bat, which was keeping everything constant except for the opening. This might sound easy, but making each aerobie have the same mass became a huge problem. To fix this, I decided to have each aerobie made of 3 layers. Although you can't see it because it's taped, all these aerobies have 3 layers. I then calculated how much surface area of the opening had been taken out of the discs and added the surface area to the second layer or middle layer, making each disc equal in mass to each other. I didn't have to add anything to the disc with no opening, this disc, because I didn't take anything out of the surface of the middle, which is why it has a 0 centimeter diameter. So this one is made out of only 2 layers. My hypothesis in this experiment was that as the diameter of the opening in the center increases, the travel distance of the aerobie will increase. By that I meant that my hypothesis meant that this would travel the farthest, this would travel the second farthest, and this would travel the shortest. Okay, so the logic I used to get this hypothesis was mostly based on the effect of turbulence. After doing research on this topic, I found out that most of the turbulence in the frisbee occurs on the leading edge, or this edge if the frisbee was traveling downwards. It also occurs in the middle a lot, which is why I decided to take out the middle and see what the effect would be on the frisbee. This is why in my hypothesis I thought that the one with the one with the most diameters and opening would have the least turbulence and would therefore travel the farthest. To do my experiment, I actually made an identical copy of each aerobie so I could test more discs at once. This is why this is black. This is why this is black and these are red, even though they have the same measurements and they're the same exact frisbee, just different colors. Once I started testing, I marked a point on the ground with duct tape, which I labeled point 0, or the point where I stood while throwing the frisbee. After I threw a disc, another participant would mark where the disc would land with a flag. These are the flags used, and she would disregard the roll of the aerobie after it would land. I then used a tape measure to measure the distance between where I threw the aerobie, or point 0, and where the aerobies had been marked, or where the flags were. I recorded all the data and did this 15 times over, making 30 throws for each aerobie. I can't. Okay. Figure 1 shows the data of all the aerobies in one graph, which is the red ones are the ones with no opening, the blue ones are the 6 centimeter opening ones, and the yellow ones are the 12 centimeter opening. Figure 2 shows the graphs of the no opening one, which is just the red ones, which is also the red ones here. Figure 3 shows the 6 centimeter diameter opening, which is the blue ones, also blue here. And the fourth graph, figure 4, shows the one of the 12 centimeter opening, which is yellow, which is, as you guessed, yellow here as well. Contrary to my hypothesis, all the discs seem to fly around the same distance with no trend line or correlation to be found. This led to my null hypothesis being accepted, which basically states what I just said, that there is no significant difference in the distances each aerobie flew. Some notable things that I observed during experimentation, though, was that the disc with no opening would sometimes catch itself right before it hit the ground, and which would allow it to travel further and make its traveling distance increase. This is indicated by the outliers in figure 2 and figure 1. And as you can see, figure 3 and figure 4 don't have those outliers because they wouldn't do that. when they would reach the ground, they would just keep falling and hit the ground. Yeah. Thank you for watching my experiment.